Hey guys, this is Darren from preppingwithdarren.com. Today I wanted to go over the Coleman 40 quart thermoelectric cooler. As you can see here, the temperature is 68. That is the ambient temperature. I'm using this to check the temperature because I've lost my other actual thermometer. And I was also wanting to check and see how long it takes to get down to the coldest it can get, which is supposed to be 40 below the ambient temperature. So we'll see. And also using this is the adapter that I ordered to see how much juice this will actually be pulling. This is the so I'm going to plug this in. And get that reset. Alrighty. Go ahead and plug this in. And go ahead and get this plugged in. Now, as you can can tell that there is some noise that comes out of it. Sometimes it gets louder than that. Right there. That's about as loud as it can get, that I've noticed anyways. You just gotta hit it a couple times. Sometimes it'll stop, sometimes it won't. This is 2 years old anyways, so temperature now is 67. I'll go and toss it in here. Easy, buddy. See how long it takes to get it cool. There we go. And I've actually got to go to the store real quick, so I'll be back here in a little bit. Okay, I just made it back home. As you can see, it's running about an hour and 20 minutes. It's used up right around 80 watts. Now, if you remember, it started out at 68, and 67 was the ambient temperature. Now it is 57 degrees. It's still got some way to go. Okay, so right now it is right at 2 hours. It has drawn about 120 watts. And so far it has cooled down to 51. Okay, so as you can see, we are at 4 hours now. And we've used up about 250 watts. The temperature is at 42. So that is actually about, let's see, 25, 26 degrees cooler in 4 hours. Not quite the 40 degrees. I'll let it run a little bit longer and see if it gets any cooler. Alright, we're at 380 watts in 6 hours. Down to 39 degrees. Alrighty, right now we're at about 9 hours and 20 minutes, almost. We've used up about 590 watts. The temperature is at 39. It hasn't went down, so I think I'll call it good at that. As we can see, it took 6 hours to get down to 29 degrees below the ambient temperature. Yeah. I'll also be showing you what all you can actually store in this, what all we put in it. Buddy. As you can see, we got the full gallon of milk, some ketchup, mustard, bologna, bottles of water, a couple of Powerade and Gatorade, some cheese. Don't have any hot dogs right now, but we also used to keep hot dogs and a lot more like ham and stuff like that in there as well. Now you got this divider here. We pretty much always kept it here. Try to keep it decent space so this doesn't get covered up and cause it to overwork itself. Now whenever we was over the road, we could put bottles of water along the side here, and then it would actually get pretty close to ice all the way through. But that was almost 2 years ago now. Well, I guess a little over 2 years ago now. And it cooled off a lot better. It ended up cooling off a lot better back then than it does now. But it's still, 29 degrees below the ambient temperature. So if you're using it in a vehicle with air conditioning, it should be pretty good. We would also keep like ham, roast, and actually a couple of steaks too that we cooked up, and it seemed to keep those pretty cold as well. We would keep any kind of condiments in there that we are already opened and stuff. I mean, it is 40 quarts, so you could put a lot more stuff in there. You could stack on top of each other. Now you can also use it vertically, like stand it up on its side. Here, I'll show you real quick. Now you can use it vertically like this. We never did, since we kept it up in the top bunk of the truck. We always had it, on its side. Well, I guess right side up, and we would hook bungee straps to each of these lips here. And on the top bunks of the trucks, you actually had like if it was closed, where it would latch on to the back side of the wall. That's what we hooked the other side of the bungee cords up to, and it seemed to hold it pretty good. Didn't really have an issue with breaking, like it sliding around. The stuff inside sometimes would, like water bottles, small stuff, but as far as it like moving from side to side, it wasn't too much of an issue. Every once in a while it would, or something else would move that was up in the top bunk and actually get on the actual vent, and it would cause it to overheat. And when it overheated, basically you had to just unplug it for like an hour. It would still keep its temperature. I'm not sure how cold it actually stayed when it was unplugged, but whenever, like, wait about an hour, unplug it for about an hour, let it cool down, plug it back in, and it works just fine. That did happen a couple of times whenever like a blanket or a comforter fell along the side and ended up overheating it without us knowing about it. And when it gets hot like that, it doesn't want to cool down very well. So if you are going to be using it in a semi and using it up on the top bunk, I'd make sure you don't put anything on that side of the vent. That way it can move around and get in front of it and block it. All in all, I was pretty impressed with it. I haven't used it in about 6 months since I've been local. Well, heck, I guess almost a year now since I've been local, and it's still working pretty good. As you see, it took 6 hours to get down to 29 degrees below the ambient temperature. The manufacturer says it to pre-cool it for 4 hours before you actually use it. I couldn't find anywhere where it said a certain amount of time that it should be the 40 below the ambient temperature from the manufacturer or from other customer reviews. But I know it took 6 hours to get down to 29 below the ambient temperature, and it's a little over 2 years old, and it was constantly plugged in and used when I was over the road. The only time it was unplugged was whenever I was actually on home time, which was only a couple, like 16 days out of the year. So it stayed plugged in and ran constantly. And that's the thing, is that it's not like an actual fridge where it'll shut off the condenser. It just continuously runs, so it'll continuously keep things cool. You can also keep it in the passenger seat, just strap it down. It is kind of difficult opening up the lid, getting stuff out if it's strapped down at the seat, vertically anyways. Another thing we would do is, whenever I first started up, before I was I had my wife on the truck with me, I just kept it in the floor. It was much easier to just reach down there and open it up and get something out of it, as opposed to, you know, having to stop and climb up in the top bunk, get stuff out. But I mean, all in all, I'm pretty impressed with it. If you're looking to buy, I'll post some links down below. I got mine from a truck stop. I don't really suggest doing that. It's much more expensive. Any truck stop you go to, it doesn't matter what you're going to buy, it's going to be more expensive. So if you can buy stuff off Amazon or other online retailers, you can get it for pretty cheap, compared to truck stops. Now, if you buy it from a manufacturer, I'm not sure what the price is on it. I think it's about the same. Thank you for checking out the Coleman 40-quart Thermoelectric Cooler review. Also, don't forget to check us out on preppingwithdarren.com. I'll leave it linked below as well.